This film is a record of a journey along the shore of Loch Awe and to the tiny island of Easdale. On this journey, we can see the contrasts in Scotland's wonderful scenery. The hills and mountains are highlighted by sparkling lochs and waterfalls, whilst Scotland's Atlantic coastline is sprinkled with thousands of islands. Though some are well known, many smaller islands are just dots on the map. Along the shore of Loch Awe, it is very easy to suffer from sensory overload, from the great stands of trees on the hills around you, to the gushing waterfalls that tumble down into the loch. Close up, the vegetation is lush and colourful, fed by the mists which are a feature of these hills. Even the birds are friendly. In the loch itself, there are many small islands, adding to the interest and beauty that abounds here. Isolated farms add to the overall effect, their white walls standing out among the green, mauve and grey of the forest, rocks and heather. From Loch Awe, we make our way to Seal Island. Like many tourists, we have come here to enjoy the high-speed thrill of the Sea-fari adventure. Once dressed in waterproofs, passengers climb aboard one of the rigid inflatables for a breathtaking 2-hour trip to some of the islands in the Firth of Lorne. In years gone by, many of these smaller islands were inhabited, and small communities struggled to make a living from the land and sea. Then, at the end of the 19th century, absentee landlords found that they could earn more with the land deserted. That is when the clearances began. The small communities vanished from all but a handful of the islands. Now even the lighthouses are deserted and are run automatically. Today, apart from a few holiday homes, these islands are left to the wildlife. On our trip, we saw deer, seals and many seabirds. Whilst we dash along the shores of the islands at up to 30 knots, others prefer different forms of transport. Once back on Seal Island, we can take the short ferry trip to Easdale Island. Though it is a very small island, people still live on Easdale. Once populated by workers from the island's slate quarries, there is still a lively community here, making a living to a great extent from the tourist industry. Now that the slate quarrying days are over, nature is slowly claiming the island back, and Easdale Island is returning to a place of tranquility and beauty.